Hey everyone, today I'll be reviewing my new 4.0 Reimagined MOC SURGE. This is what the actual Surge 4.0 set looked like. He took me a while to build, I'd say probably 4 to 6 hours. I don't remember the exact amount of time just because I built his body probably 3 weeks ago, and so I don't remember exactly how long it took me to put together the body. But I like how this build turned out. I definitely did a better job than I would have thought, mainly because of all the green. I'm really short on green right now, and so I think he turned out looking good despite my lack of green. His body is my favorite part, just all of the different shapes that I got in there, especially the Rakshi headpiece in blue that I put right there. The legs have a rather simple design, and I don't think that's necessarily a drawback for this build. You might notice that the lower leg is a little bit lacking in detail, and that's just due to the fact that I was running out of blue near the end of this build. I like the feet that I used. I got these off of a Glatorian from Bionicle, I believe. Yeah, because they didn't make these in Hero Factory, and I don't think they've used these on a Lego set since Bionicle has ended. I like the thighs, they look pretty good. I used a decent amount of lime green Lego pieces just to bulk up the legs because I don't have a bunch of lime green Hero Factory parts. I like the use of these pulley wheels. They just look really mechanical. Those are some of my favorite pieces to use, especially on 4.0 Reimagined builds, because they cover up so much space and they look pretty good. His arm design looks pretty good. I definitely like his arms better than his legs. I just feel like the design is more rounded off and complete. I like the use of this Bionicle knife piece as his elbow. It restricts the movement just a little bit, but I don't think it's too much. He still gets a lot of that movement in, a lot of that needed movement. I used some pulley wheels on either side, just like I did on the legs. Also, if you remember Surge 4.0, he had a silver armor plate right here on his upper arm, and so I just portrayed that by putting this big Bionicle armor plate in silver there. There's not really too much else to note about the arms. I put a vent right there and a small little rounded dome piece. I think I got that from Toxic Reaper. And besides that, there's not much on the arm. I like his sword. If you remember Surge 4.0, his sword was very, very simple. So I kind of kept that same design. His Meteor Blaster really isn't anything too complex. It's a pretty simple design. I like how it looks, though. This arm is exactly the same as the other one, except for it has a stud right there instead of a wire going through it. The arms look pretty good together. I think they fit this MOC pretty well. His body is definitely my favorite part of the MOC. I just think it looks really good. I like how all these blue Lego pieces slope down and frame up the core nicely. Also, the Rakshi head is definitely my favorite detail on this MOC. I just think it looks really good. I used 2 blue wires on his body, one right here that runs along the front, and one that runs along the back. I used a little stud piece with a bar coming out of it to hold this Technic in place, and that Technic piece keeps the wire from moving. I used another blue Bionicle foot piece right there to add a little extra detail to the body. And the last wire that I used on the body is this silver one right here that connects these 2 generators. All the generators look really nice. You can see them all from the front, and so I think they kind of just give him a menacing look. Overall, I really like this build. He's not my absolute favorite in 4.0 Reimagined so far. I'd say he's probably about in the middle of my tier list, but I still have 6 MOCs in 4.0 Reimagined to build, so we'll see how he lands after all of those are finished. Now, I can't say that this review is officially over until I do a size comparison with him. To kickstart the review, I'll go ahead and put Nex 2.0 in the scene. I believe Nex is about 4, maybe 5 inches tall, and so Surge is quite a bit taller than Nex. But now let's put Nex 4.0 Reimagined in to the ring. So he's quite a bit bigger than Next 2.0. He's a little bit shorter than Surge, but they're basically the same height. Now let's put Voltex Reimagined into the shot. He's quite a bit taller than Surge himself and quite a bit wider. And so you can see Surge is about average in regards to height, at least if we're talking about 4.0 Reimagined MOCs. He's about average. But when compared to a standard Hero Factory set, he's quite a bit taller.